Hey everybody, it is Tuesday and we are back cooking together in the kitchen. Hope you guys are doing well. I am just still getting set up here. Had a busy morning. I actually went out and harvested some more service berries before the birds could get them. And that is the subject of today's cooking class. So today, let me show you. Have my harvest in the refrigerator. But today we are going to be cooking with service berries. So I've gotten a lot of comments, a lot of people saying, what are service berries? How do you find them? Well, if you've ever done foraging, which I love to do, foraging is when you look in your environment for foods that are growing out in the wild. This one's not quite growing out in the wild because we tend to plant a lot of these bushes. Service berries can be found in a lot of landscapes. They have a beautiful white flower in the spring, which is always so nice to have some color in the spring with the flowers. But they also have these wonderful berries. And a lot of times they're just left for the birds because the birds know they taste really good. I kind of like to think of the flavor like a cross between a currant and a blueberry. So it's very different. It has a texture similar to a blueberry. It's a lot smaller, as you can see. But, they're really good to harvest when they're a dark burgundy red like this. I do have some in here that are a lighter red, which is okay too. But just like any berry, the darker the color, the riper it is, the sweeter the flavor. So I thought it would be fun to use these up in a recipe that I have for a muffin. I use this recipe for blueberries and raspberries as well. So if you don't have service berries, don't worry, you can use those. So this is a paleo recipe, which means that it does not contain grains. So it's grain-free. It's made with almond flour. It is dairy-free. And I'm adding a little bit of sugar, but it's a more natural sugar, a honey. So we're going to use that for our sweetener along with these wonderful berries. All right. So to do this real simple recipe, I just preheated my oven to 350 degrees. So it is getting nice and hot. I have let me just show you what the finished product looks like. Let's see if I can I was going to put these out on a dish, but as I said, I was out busy harvesting more berries today, so I didn't have time. But here is our little finished cupcake, or really a muffin. Let me just peel the paper away so you can see it has a nice consistency, very cakey, delicious sweet flavor. So we will take a look at that a little bit later on. I wish you could taste it with me. They're all so good, but very easy to make. And that's one of the nice things about muffins is that they are so easy to make. You can do this quick and easy. There's not a lot of extra sugars in this. There's a lot of good things. Again, I'm talking about antioxidants, right? Anti-inflammatory, anti-aging ingredients here. So this would make a lovely breakfast. It has egg in it, so it has the protein from the egg, the goodness from the almond flour, and of course the antioxidants from the berries. So let's take a look at what we're going to be adding. So let's first put our wet ingredients together. So I'm going to start with my honey. I'm going to make a half recipe. This makes 6 muffins. 6 muffins, let me show you the size again. This size. Okay, so they're not the super huge ones that you might get at a local chain. They're just enough for a quick bite. Whoops, quick meal. Almost lost my honey there. All right, so normally you'd add a 1/4 cup of honey. I'm going to add half that, which is 2 tablespoons. All right. It's a little bit more tedious than having a quarter cup, but it does the trick. All right, so I'm adding in my, what normally would be a quarter cup, now 2 tablespoons of honey. And to that, I'm going to add another quarter cup, in this case, half that, of avocado oil. You can add olive oil as well. All right. I just like to scoop my finger in there just to get all that goodness out and into the bowl. All right, just rinse that finger off. Okay, and so we've had a quarter cup now each of these. I'm going to add in a quarter cup of almond milk. Again, sorry, I didn't have this out ahead of time. And I say a quarter cup. I'm going to add the 2 tablespoons, because that's half, of the almond milk. But I'm going to reserve and leave this here, because later on, if the batter's too thick, I can always add in more. I'm going to give this a quick stir after I add in my egg. So normally I add in 2 eggs, just adding in 1 here. All right, it's 1 large egg. All right, which really isn't that large. Okay, so I'm just going to beat up my egg now and get that honey all mixed in, because it's very thick. And then I'm just going to add my dry ingredients right into this. You can add your dry ingredients separately, but I like to just add it all into one bowl, save more clean utensils. Oh, I forgot to add in my vanilla. Normally, I'll add in 1 teaspoon of vanilla. I'm adding in a half teaspoon here, because again, we're doing a half recipe. So those are all my liquids. That was the honey, the avocado oil, the almond milk, the egg, and then that last bit of vanilla. All right, I'm just going to set this almond milk aside, and then we're going to start adding in our dry ingredients, as I said. So I have some almond flour here. I am going to add in, typically you'd add in 2.5 cups if you were making a dozen. I'm going to add in 1 1/4 cups of my flour. So let me just get that bag open. Sometimes that's half the problem, or half the chore. And so I have a nice, I like to use my finger to kind of, on the outside of the bag, to kind of flatten out the amount as I slide it out. Makes it easy. All right. So, even that out a little bit. I'm going to add in, normally it's 3/4 of a teaspoon of baking powder. I am going to add in just a scant half teaspoon. Yes. All right, sprinkle that in. And a 1/4 teaspoon of salt. Salt enhances flavors, so it brings out a lot of the flavors that we're putting in. So even if you know, we don't want it to be salty, but the salt is there just to enhance all the flavors that are going in. And I'm just going to give this a mix. I'm going to mix this all in. I have a nice batter. And then in the end, I would do a zest of 1 lemon, 1 small lemon. So I'll do about a half of this lemon. It's about maybe a teaspoon. I love adding zest of lemon as opposed to the lemon juice sometimes, because when you're baking, it's that lemon oil that really comes out, that flavor. And that's what's in the rind. All right. And I like a lemony flavor, so I'm usually pretty generous with my lemon rind that goes in. And as I like to say, that's the benefit of doing your own recipe, because you get to put in the amounts that you like and balance it out to the flavors that you like. Just going to give this a good mix. Make sure that lemon rind is all wrapped in there. Now, one thing I like to do, I'm going to add in a little apple cider vinegar. It gives a little bit of zing. It adds a little bit more acidity, which helps with the rising of the batter. Normally, I would put in about a tablespoon. I'm going to put in about a half a tablespoon here. And it doesn't quite bubble up in this recipe. Sometimes it does. If you use baking soda, it really bubbles up. But you will see it bubbling up and helping to trap air bubbles in that batter, which is what will help with the batter rising as it bakes. All right. Now, normally I would add about 2 cups of my berries. I'm going to add in 1 cup into this half recipe. Have I said that enough? Half recipe versus the full recipe? Hopefully I haven't confused everybody. All right. I can see as I'm scooping these out that I probably have some stems in here, so I might have to look through and see. And what I would like to do is just to give this a little rinse, just in case there's any dirt or anything that I didn't catch on there. All right. So here you can see some of them are lighter colored, some of them are the darker colored. And I don't see any stems in here. So I'm going to just add them into my batter. And I like to fold these in because I don't want them to burst and make the batter all red. Sometimes that can happen with blueberries. If you ever cook with frozen blueberries, that definitely can happen. And you end up with blue muffins. Nothing wrong with that. It still tastes really good. It just affects the way it looks, that's all. Okay. So, I'm just going to leave that there for a second. Here you go. This is our batter. It looks like a nice cookie batter, doesn't it? All right. So, let me just grab my tray that I have here. A little moisture in there. Should be okay. And let me grab I have some cups, liners. If I could find them. Oh, it's right in front of me. As I said, I was out foraging this morning. So, curious, does anybody else forage for things? I'll tell you some other things that I forage for. I have a shagbark hickory tree on my property, so I've collected those in the past. There are some black walnut trees in our town, and I've collected those before. Boy, those are hard to crack. That's a hard nut to crack. And very messy, because black walnuts are named because they do turn your hands black. So it's good to wear gloves with them. I also harvest dandelions. Make sure that there's no pesticides that are being put down on the lawn if you're doing that. I did call our village to find out if the parks use any pesticides, and they said no. So it's a great source. I've also made roasted dandelion tea from that, and that is really good. So a couple of things you can start looking for. All right. I know that there's an elderberry tree in our neighborhood too, but I still haven't been able to find that and test any of those out. Elderberry is supposed to be very good for the immune system. A lot of antioxidants and phytochemicals in that one. So I'm now going to just add in, just to fill the cups. Hopefully you can see what I'm doing here. I like a lot of berries in my muffins, so that's why I added this amount. If you want more cake and less berries, by all means just add in less berries. And it's very convenient for me just to make 6 muffins because I have a 6 muffin tin here. Makes it easy. All right. So try to be even with the amount of batter that you put into each one. All right. And so here we have our muffins. All right, I'm going to go pop them over into my oven here. Set the timer for 20 minutes. So I have them in the oven for 20 minutes at 350 degrees. And let me then show you the muffins that I have here. So these were the muffins that I made earlier today. Put them out on a tray or a plate, as the case may be here. Okay, and there you have it. We have our muffins. And I just wanted to just take one. And let me grab a knife so you can see the consistency when they're cut. All right. So, you know, with almond flour, you do have a denser cake. It's good to make sure that they're cooked all the way through. I'm just going to take a little taste. The berry got away. So good. It almost has like a cranberry flavor as well, but sweet. It's a natural sweetness. If you're using dried cranberries, typically they are coated in sugar because cranberries in and of themselves are not sweet. So it's really nice to have this great combination, this great dish right here. I hope this inspires you to go out and take a look to see if there's any serviceberry bushes in your neighborhood. You might even have them on your property and not even realize it. I hope you do. Let me know if you do. I'm looking forward to hearing comments from everybody. If you don't have that, try this with blueberries. Simple, easy to do, real quick. In 20 minutes, we're going to have our muffins all ready. So until next week, I hope you continue to cook healthy. If you would like to join us, we are starting our Lighten Up and Feel Great program. It starts in a couple of weeks. We will be cooking on Sunday, prepping for the entire week so that you have a week's worth of healthy, anti-inflammatory, age backwards foods. All right, to keep us young and active, feeling great during the summer. We're out and about in the summer, naturally looking to eat lighter. This is a great way to start it off. I hope you join me. Just private message me or leave a comment in the comment section. I'd be happy to get back to you with information all about it. And in the future, if you enjoy these recipes and videos that I do, I am going to be migrating over to a private community. It'll be a community membership group where we will share daily information on healthy eating. I will do once a month my cooking shows there. I will also be doing my cooking programs like Lighten Up and Feel Great 4 times a year on that. And I will be inviting guest speakers that are specialists in their field of health, as well as lots of other informational things that come up, opportunities to share and learn and grow. And you'll be with a group of like-minded people. So, what fun. Looking forward to developing this, looking forward to seeing you all there. In the meantime, have a great week, and I will see you next Tuesday right here in the kitchen. See you then. Bye-bye now.